Good morning, fellas. We are here at the Palmanova Supercharger, the first stop of today. And it's noon, so it's perfect timing to grab some lunch. We have about 30-35 minutes to charge before we can continue to the next stop, which is Kitzbühel in Austria. But in the meantime, or along the way, we'll be doing the Osti-Rodler Rodelbahn in Linz, which is always great fun. And here, a little bit further, we have a little playground for the kids to play on as well. So more than enough to do here while we wait for the car to charge up. Okay, so we are here at the Osti-Rodler and the weather is cloudy, but it's not raining, so that means that we can go on the Rodelbahn, which will be a lot of fun. Now we just came down a mountain pass and I made some measurements there. I wasn't able to film it because of the camera being on the windscreen instead of on my dashboard. But we started at the top with 226 kilometers left. We drove 14 kilometers and then in the end we still had 236 kilometers left. So we actually drove 14 kilometers and gained another 10 kilometers just by driving down. So yeah, that is just great about driving an EV, the regenerative braking. So that was nice. So now we have a quick stop. We have about, let's see, an hour, a little over an hour to go until the Kitzbühel Supercharger. And then we need to charge up a little bit and then move on to our final destination for today, which is Munich. Hey guys, so we made it to the Kitzbühel Supercharger, which has to be like the most boring supercharger in Europe. There's not a lot to see, only 3 stalls. There's a Model 3 a little bit up ahead, there you can see it. That is charging as well, so I took the second stall. But nevertheless, I did get my 108 kilowatts of charging all the way up to 50%. Now we are going to spend the night in Munich, but I do not have enough charge yet to get to the next supercharger beyond Munich. So that means that we would have to stay here a bit longer, or we can charge at Irschenberg, where there's a McDonald's, but quite far away, and I have too much charge right now to do that because I cannot quickly go out and unplug the car if it takes a bit longer than planned. So we're going to have to stay a little bit longer here and then go directly to eat something and make sure that tomorrow we can get to the first supercharger on the Autobahn. Good morning and welcome to the final day of our annual family road trip. Now this morning we are here now in the first stop, the first supercharging stop in Jettingen, which is about 100 kilometers from Munich. So I charged up in Kitzbühel last night. We arrived in Munich way too late. It was like 9:30 before we arrived at the hotel. But now I managed to get here and still enjoy the Autobahn. So I managed to shave off about 10 minutes in an hour driving. However, in the end, the car didn't like it so much because I even got limited to about 100 kilowatts of power remaining in the car. And that was at 8% state of charge. So now we're charging up, and next stop is probably going to be Leonberg near Stuttgart. Our second stop for today is Leonberg Supercharger, and there have been more chargers installed in the meantime. So now it's a 20 stall charger, which is a big one, but only 3 cars are here right now at the moment. I've also again gained about 17 minutes by being able to drive a lot faster on the Autobahn, mostly around 180 kilometers an hour. And in return I only consumed about 3% more than what the trip estimator actually calculated. So that's really good, and we're making really good time at the moment, as we are close to half an hour faster than what we anticipated in traveling. So that's good. That means that we'll get home a little bit sooner than expected. But now it's time to grab some early lunch, and then we move on to our next supercharger. So it's mid-afternoon and we are here at the Pfalzfeld Supercharger. I've never been here before. I guess this is a rather new one, and again, a lot of stalls but not a lot of cars here. So that's good for fast charge rates, and I'm getting my usual 106 to 108 kilowatts during charging, which is still good considering I'm limited on the battery. So we've just been driving for about 2.5 hours, made some good time, also encountered some small traffic jams, but nothing to be worried about. Now the next stop is going to be Urmond in the Netherlands. That's going to be our last charging stop for today, and that's another 2.5 hours, but let's see if we can make that a little bit shorter. We are here at the final supercharger stop of this trip, and while we had quite a few minor traffic jams, quite a few roadworks, we are still adhering to my 85 km/h rule of thumb that I'm using to calculate the total travel time for a certain distance. So yeah, it's still early. It's about 5 o'clock right now, so we have more than enough time to get home. That's still about an hour and a half driving from here, and then we can enjoy the evening a little bit as well and relax before we get probably a very long sleep. So we finally made it back home. 3,800 kilometers we've driven, with an average of 227 watt hours per kilometer. That is rather high, but keep in mind that we did a lot of short trips, and the longest trips like today, those were mainly on the Autobahn, so that also increases consumption, of course. Now, it has been a very fun trip, the most adventurous trip that we've done so far, and yeah, now we can start planning our next holiday. And as always, if you like the videos, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more of this and of my autopilot testing. And for now, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.